Guys, this is Tiaza with freebellydanceclasses.com. We're doing a coffee talk today, and the question that I got actually, which prompted this coffee talk, was from somebody on Facebook saying that she was wondering, excuse me, if she should be changing belly dance instructors. She's attending a class where the instructor actually, keeps repeating the same moves over and over and over. And she felt like she's not progressing at all in her practice, because every time there is a new person in the class, then the instructor will go back to the beginner moves, and she feels like she's just repeating the same thing all over again. I've been there. I've taught so many belly dance classes, and I still do a lot of workshops here and there, and that is one of the biggest challenges of being an instructor, not just of dance, but it could be of a lot of other things, that where you have to learn the basics. There's things where you don't have to necessarily learn the basics, but if you have to learn the basics before you can do anything else, it is such a challenge for an instructor to make sure that everybody's at the same level. That's why a lot of belly dance instructors, of course, do things like, this is a beginner's class, intermediate, advanced, and so on. And for some instructors, although they don't believe that those words actually mean anything, like beginner, advanced, intermediate, whatever, but it allows them to get the students that would fit at a certain level and that actually would be okay with certain moves. So if you have a beginner's class, then you're going to be able to repeat a lot of the beginner moves. If you have an intermediate class, like we're past hip drops and kicks, where it's time for something else. And so on. And so that's kind of important. But a lot of dancers out there, a lot of dance instructors, don't really say, that this is a beginner's class or intermediate or advanced, so therefore you're kind of stuck a little bit. But, excuse me, there is also, even within the same level, like you can call someone a beginner. There's a lot of students that still feel like they're beginners, and they only attend the beginners classes, even though they have been doing belly dancing for a year. So they're the ones that are setting themselves to failure. Okay, they're the ones that are setting themselves back by not pushing themselves to the next level, because they feel like, well, I don't know, I can't call myself an intermediate yet, so I'm going to keep doing this belly dance class, the beginner one, for a while. But then you complain when you get to repeat hip drops and kicks and basic shimmies all the time. So push yourself to the intermediate, okay? So sometimes you are setting yourself back, okay? Because this girl, when she emailed me, she was saying, I think my belly dance instructor is setting me back, and I felt like, well, it could go both ways. If you really feel like what she's doing is not okay for your level, then why don't you take the next level class? That will be an answer. So maybe you could be setting yourself back. But again, I understand if the instructor does not offer different levels. That could be a challenge. Sometimes, yes, the instructor himself or herself will set you back in your practice. You have instructors that will start every single class with a 20-30 minute of just repeating the basics before they can get on to the next new thing, and the next new thing could be like 1 or 2 combos. So you really get out of the entire hour of the class 1 or 2 combos, where you could have gotten, I don't know, 10 had you started with the new stuff from the start. You also have instructors that really just don't know much more than what they have already taught you. Therefore, they have to be repeating those same moves over and over and over and over and over. So figure out where your instructor fits, okay? If you feel like your instructor is kind of repeating a lot of the beginning stuff for like a half hour in the class, then maybe you should approach the instructor and say, you know what, I think a lot of people here are ready to move on to the next thing, and they don't really want half hour of basic practice. A warm-up and some drilling is kind of cool for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, but anything after that, it just kind of started to kill it for me, and it's kind of a waste of your time. Also, ask your instructor if it's okay to teach you new moves, because you've been doing the same thing over and over. Now, if the instructor doesn't seem to have new moves to teach, then you're going to get an idea. Your instructor doesn't know much more than what she already taught you, which doesn't make her a bad instructor. It just makes her somebody who's not fit for you right now. So it could be fit for somebody else, a brand new person to this art, they could learn from her, but then you need to find another instructor. So find where you fit there if you feel like you're not moving forward, okay, in your practice with your instructor, and make your decision that way. But don't think it always comes from one side, you know, because a lot of times you like to blame the teacher if we don't get something. Sometimes you can blame yourself too. Okay, and you can only blame the teacher for so much, because the teacher now doesn't have just you in the class. He has a lot of other students, and you have to kind of make sure that you cater to everybody. So make sure if you don't fit with the group, then maybe you fit in a different class. Okay, so that's just my advice to you, then my answer to that question. So hopefully that helps. I'll see you guys in the next coffee talk on freebellydanceclasses.com. Make sure you check out the website, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and like our Facebook page. See you then. Bye.